Hello everyone, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today we're talking about food waste. My name's Celena Fernandez, I'm Head of Environment for Compass Group UK and Ireland. So why is it so important to talk about food waste? Well, did you know that 1/3 of all food produced in the world is currently wasted and thrown in the bin? And this equates to more than 1 billion tonnes of food going to waste each year, which is just ridiculous. In terms of greenhouse gas emissions, if food waste were a country, it would be the largest greenhouse gas emitter after China and the USA. So food waste has a really high carbon footprint, and it's really important for us to try and reduce food waste. So that was globally, but in the UK, we also have a really big problem with food waste. The hospitality and food service industry throws away 1.1 million tonnes of food waste per year, which is equivalent to 2.5 billion pounds that it costs the food waste industry, which is really significant and a reason why we need to reduce food waste. But meanwhile, and this is the really sad story, there's 10 million people in the UK that are struggling to afford to eat. And it just is ridiculous that we throw away so much food when we've got such a problem with food poverty. So what can we do about it? This is the food waste hierarchy, which categorises food waste in terms of the most preferable option to the least preferable option, and what will give the biggest cost savings and what will cost you the most money. So it seems pretty obvious, but obviously the first way to reduce food waste is to prevent it in the first place. Then the next part is to redistribute it to feed people in need. And then there are other options you can take in terms of recycling, and the least favourable option will be to send it for recovery or dispose of it. So preventing food waste in the first place is going to bring the lowest costs. And we're going to talk about prevention in a little bit more detail now, and I've got 5 tips for you. The first tip is to plan ahead. So plan your menu, and this can be applied to at home or in a food service environment. So you at home you could put together a menu for 1 week or 2 weeks. And then it's really important to know what you've got. So do a stock take or check your cupboards and make sure that you know what is in the fridge, in the freezer, in the storeroom. And then before you start shopping, make a shopping list so you know what you need to buy. And a quick way to do this would be to take photos. Second tip for you is to know your dates. And this is really important because it will indicate to you when you should throw away your food or when it's still okay to eat. So as a quick reminder, best before is always to do with quality. And this means that food will be at its best before the date that's shown, but it's still safe to eat after. So the best thing to do is to look at it or do a sniff test to make sure that it's good enough to eat. But the date you shouldn't bypass is the use by date, which is to do with safety. Now, you might not be able to see bacteria, but it can be on the product, and it's really important not to eat the food if it's past its use by date. Third tip for you is savvy storage. So using your freezer. Now, your freezer is your best friend, and you can use it to prolong the life of food, prepare food in advance, and it doesn't destroy nutrients. So it's really good way of storing food to avoid it from going bad or going in the bin. And one thing I do at home is I store all my bread in the freezer. I have a whole drawer dedicated to bread. I've got different types of bread in there, and every time I need it, I take it out, defrost it in the microwave, or put it straight in the toaster. And it's always fresh, and I never have any bread waste. And another good tip is I use the bags for the bread to line my food waste caddy, so I don't even throw away my bread bags. So personal tip for you. The next tip is on perfect portions, so making sure that you're serving the correct amounts. And this is really important for at home, making sure you don't eat too much or you're not wasting food, like people not eating their food, eating all of their plate full. And you can do this by using standard spoons. You can serve different portion sizes to children or adults with smaller portions. Or in a restaurant environment, you could consider offering doggy bags for uneaten leftovers on their plates. And then the fifth tip is lovely leftovers. So whatever food you've got left over, it's important to think about what you can do with it. So get creative in your kitchen, find different ingredient swaps, combine fresh with frozen, and have a website called Love Food Hate Waste with a whole load of recipes to help you do this. So have a look on there for recipe hints and tips. The next part I want to talk to you about is redistribution, and this is about helping feed people in need. Now, surplus food, which is still edible, can arise from lots of different reasons, and this could be from short-dated stock, it could be seasonal stock that maybe from Christmas that you can't sell anymore, it might be that you bought the incorrect amount, or like we've experienced with coronavirus, emergency closures, where we've had surplus stock that's going to go bad before the site reopens. So these are some images of some of the surplus food that we donated during the lockdown period. We had lots and lots of volunteers across the business who bagged and boxed all of their surplus food to get it to feed people in need. And there's lots of charities out there that can help people that are struggling to afford food. There's an app called Too Good To Go, which sells food at a discounted price. And there's lots of other charities, including Fair Share, Salvation Army, that will help people, help feed people in the community. And then there's also Olio, which is a food sharing app, which shares food within the local community. So I'd really encourage you to do that. And if you're a consumer yourself, you can download Too Good To Go and actually look for sites that are offering food at a discounted price. And then the final part is around recycling. So what happens when it becomes waste? So really important thing to think about is if you only have one bin, a general waste bin, and you put your food waste in there, where does it go? There's only two options for it. One is it's going to go to landfill, which is going to produce methane, which is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide, and therefore contributing to climate change. Or it's going to go to an incineration plant, which might be with or without energy production. If it's without energy production, then it's just going to get burned. But with energy production, it will produce some energy and go back to the grid. So it's not the best option to put food waste in general waste. And also general waste is the most expensive way of disposing of your waste. The best option is to put food waste in a food waste bin. And I chose a fun bin for this slide, but there are lots of different food waste bins out there. Food waste will always get taken to an anaerobic digestion site, and it will be processed into a biogas, which is used to produce power, or it will be produced into a digestate, which can be used for fertilizer, and it can be then sold on to farmers, or it can be used to spread over landfill sites, and actually you get good nutrition from the digestate. So a really good reason why you should recycle your food waste. And that's it. That's my very quick update on food waste. I'm just going to ask my helpful colleague Leanne if there's any questions at all.
Nope, no questions.
Okay, so we'll just move on to just let you know that this video will be posted on our YouTube page, We Are ESS. So tune in there to watch this video and all the other videos that we have produced. And also, if you have any questions, you can ask your ESS nutrition and wellbeing specialist, or email us at ess.wellness@Compass Group. We also have a Nourish Life website, which you can visit for lots of hints and tips about lifestyle, recipes, and food and nutrition. And join us for our next webinar on the 4th of November at 2:30. Thank you very much for joining and for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.